Hey guys, it's the Tech Guru here. I'm going to do a review on the Sony A7 Mark II. I've had it for about 2 weeks now. I've bought a couple things for it. I'm upgraded from a Canon T7, and I'm going to show you a few things that I like about it, a few things I don't like about it, and why I actually upgraded. Alright, so right now when I got the Sony A7 Mark II, it was $998, so $2 under $1,000 on Amazon, and it came with the kit lens. I've seen a few little accessory kit bundles on Amazon, but I don't recommend those. I recommend just getting a normal kit or just getting the body. The body was, I think, $100 less, so $899. But this lens is already optically stabilized, even though the body's already 5-axis stabilized. The lens also is, and for $100. You kind of can't beat that. Any lens that you would get that's optically stabilized is gonna be like $200. So I just got it because it was optically stabilized. But if you already have a lens just like this, I recommend just getting the body. Or no, I just recommend getting the body. The Sony A7 Mark II has a 26.2 megapixel full frame sensor. So basically everything that you will put on is going to be actual size. There won't be any crop factor, and that's exactly why I upgraded from the Canon T7, was because I did not like having the crop factor. I did not like it. It was always, I was too close. It was just so weird, and once I got this, it just felt so normal. It just felt like, oh yeah, you guys are still here. I'm sorry. But no, really, I really do love this camera. This camera is amazing. I know it's like 6 years old right now, but this is still a really good camera. I mean, why else would it still be just about $1,000? Like, just think about that. It's 6 years old and it's $1,000 still. Crazy, but it's completely worth it. The only thing I wish it did have was a touchscreen, but the newer versions, I believe, have it, and I understand. But the touchscreen wasn't a concern for me because I got used to my Canon that didn't have a touchscreen, so that was perfectly fine with me. It has a little scroll wheel, and the Canon didn't have that, and I love that. This is just so soothing. Just listen. Doesn't that just sound so nice? I love this. I love this camera. This is my first full frame camera, and that's the exact reason I bought this camera. There is nothing wrong with the T7 and the crop factors on those cameras. It's just, honestly, the low light sensitivity for the T7 was just not good, and I wanted something full frame and that had good low light. Although the newer versions of this has way better low light capabilities because their sensors are backlight illuminated. This one I found pretty good. Like, I used the auto ISO up to 6400, which I couldn't do no such thing in the T7. The highest I could go on that was like maybe 3200. That already looked pretty bad. 1600 is probably about as high as I would go. That I would use. Like 3200 is like if it was like pitch black and I needed that shot. But T7, no. T7i, that's better. That I could do 3200 and 6400. But this one I can guarantee 6400. You won't even know the difference between 6400 and 100. This one is so good. The newer versions, better. Again, 12,800. That one, that's how high those can go and look good. But for $1,000, this is the best you can get, and it comes with the kit for $1,000. How do you can't beat that? Like, full frame. I mean, granted, mirrorless, but full frame. Actually, no, mirrorless. Yeah. Like, mirrorless is amazing. I love mirrorless cameras. And it's just so small. It's not really light. It's honestly pretty heavy. This thing is heavier than my Canon was at any time of the day, but I like it. It makes me feel like if I drop this, I'm killing something, which is good, because you know, you don't want to like feel like if you drop something it's just gonna shatter. I don't feel like this is gonna shatter. The autofocus in here is absolutely to die for. This has one of the best autofocus systems I've used. Granted, the T7's autofocus system was literally like a 9-point contrast detection autofocus, which sucked. Like, it was literally like this much of the screen. This much is what you could focus on. This much. That's what you could focus on. So if it was anywhere outside of here, you can't focus on it. What you had to do was focus on that and move back and get it into the frame that you want. Like, who wants to do that? What? This has almost 93% frame coverage for autofocus. Like who, what? That's crazy. For $1,000 that's crazy. Autofocus is super fast on this kit lens on adapters, and like I adapted it to my Canon lenses. Jesus. Some of them worked, some of them didn't work. It was, well, okay, they all worked. They just didn't work to where I wanted. So since this autofocus system's so fast and the motor was so slow, and the adapters, well, not in the adapters, but in the autofocus system for the, what were the Yongnou 50 millimeter and 35 millimeter. Those are the ones that I had that I used the adapter with. I got the adapter on Amazon for $120, which was not bad, honestly, compared to the other ones that were, like, I looked at the reviews, half of them didn't work, half of them that were half that price didn't work. So I just got this one and it worked fine. It worked, everything was working fine, except the fact that the motor is so slow in those lenses that when it was focusing, it would go past the focus and then come back, because it's trying to focus, then it found the focus and it had to come back because the camera's making it move faster than the lens is able to. I don't know, it's just weird. And so half the time it would focus and half the time it wouldn't focus, and I'll be like, what are you seeing? Is there like something on my lens? Like, how are you focusing on something so blurry? I don't know. Anyway, so that's a hit or miss. If you're gonna use that, just be okay to take the time to deal with it. It's nothing, again, wrong with it. It's just, it's not this. This, like, pressed. It's so easy. It's just so fast. If I were to get any other lenses for this specific camera, it's definitely gonna be Sony lenses. Or if like Sigma or somebody makes Sony lenses for this camera that works as good without an adapter, it's a no-brainer. Because just, do you know how many, like, if I bring my Canon out, do you know how slow it would take to focus? Oh my gosh, I love you. Oh gosh. Speaking of the kit lens, it's a 28 to 70 millimeter focal points, so it's honestly not bad. It's pretty wide, so it can get you honestly pretty good shots. It'll get you all the shots that you would think you would need, because 28 to 70 is basically a 28 millimeter, a 50 millimeter, a 70 millimeter, almost an 85 millimeter lens too. Like, it has just about everything you would need. Although again, the aperture, the fastest is 3.5, 3.6, 3.5, all the way up to 5.6. It's horrible. It's a kit, you know, but it's good for your first lens for this camera. If you have no other lens, if you don't get this, you're done. Scratch that. That's for it. You're not thinking in the brightest mindset. Get this lens if you have no other lens to work with this. If you don't want to get the adapter like I did for the Canon, which I recommend don't doing, because it's just not worth. It's not worth it. Like, I wasted that money. That's money I could have used to buy a better lens for this camera. Instead, I bought two lenses for a Canon, totaled about $200, and then that $120 adapter, so 320 bucks. And then it's just that they're not even usable. There's a what is it, a 50 millimeter lens for this camera for like 226 bucks on Amazon. I'm getting that. I should have never did this to my port. I should have never did this to you. I'm so sorry. I will never do that again. Don't do that. Don't disrespect your Sony full frame camera like that. That is disrespectful. Okay? Take it from me. So the pictures that come out of this are absolutely amazing. I'm gonna throw some up here now. A tilt screen. It's okay. It's okay. Like, honestly, it's not that bad. It does its job. Like, if I want to get low, it could get low because I could put it down and have it flip like this. If I want to get high, that's okay. I can flip it down like this. But again, not that high. I can only get to like that angle. Like, it's doable. It's you can get macro shots, or you can get close and not have to break your back. You can get like above people shots because you can bend it down and you won't have to not know what shot you're getting. It's doable. It's okay. It's not a variable angle screen, which it's okay. It's okay. It's okay. You will survive. For this camera, that is a good. Okay, honestly, the screen sucks too. But again, this screen sucks, but the images are amazing. So your screen and what you were gonna look at it on, it's okay. Because all you need to know is if it's in focus, what it's looking like. If anything's out of exposure, that's all you need to do for this screen. It's not an end all be all. Like, you don't edit on this screen. Who cares? This screen sucks. Who cares? One thing I don't like about this camera, like I really do not like, is this button right here, or this dial. I don't know why they have an exposure compensation dial. I don't know if that's just like Sony things or what, but this dial right here, like I don't ever use this. Who uses this? Like, I wish I could reprogram this to be for ISO or something like that. Like, granted, it's not going to be accurate because it says like numbers and stuff on it, so it's not going to look accurate, but like at least I could use it for something. I don't use it for this, and I don't use it for exposure. And I mean, granted, maybe I should, but like, granted, who cares? You should make it. That's a stupid dial. Like, you have two perfectly good dials, but you for f-stops and for shutter speed, but you wanted your exposure to be that important that you made a dial that can't even go all the way around and can only go to a certain number. That was stupid, and they're still doing it. Like, that's dumb. Like, ugh. I wish they would just have made that an ISO dial or something like that, because that would be a lot more usable. That's something I would actually use. Like, right now, this is useless. It's boring. Honestly, I get this mixed up with this all the time. Again, I'm kind of new to the camera, but that's what it does. It annoys me. It's stupid. Oh my gosh. Oh, nobody ever talks about this, but this camera doesn't have flash. I don't know if it's just like all the Sony A7 cameras that don't have flashes, but there's no, like, I tried for 2 days to find a flash on this camera. There's no flash. If you need a flash on your camera, which you don't, because you don't, that's what the hot shoe's for. But if you do, don't get this camera. But if you don't get this camera because it doesn't have flash, you need to re-evaluate how you take pictures, because you don't need flash. But this camera doesn't have a flash, and I actually think that that's great, because we don't need a flash. I don't know why cameras keep putting flashes in, especially DSLR type cameras. Why are you putting flashes in? You know good and damn well we are putting a flash on a hot shoe. Anyways, Sony, that's one thing you did right. You didn't have a flash. You have a hot shoe, perfect. Exposure dial, done. Change that, please. They have four custom buttons. The top two are right next to each other, and I don't like that. I wish they at least had like a little feel on them, but the only thing you got is a little rubber or middle thing. Like, I don't even know I don't know. Another one is this zoom / control or custom button 3 right here, and then last one is the trash can at the bottom down here. Besides that, all of these are programmable. You can change what these are. This button's programmable. Only thing you can't program is the menu button, the playback button, setter button, and the stupid dial. Please get rid of the dial, please. But besides that, everything else can be programmed. Battery life on this camera, like the newer versions of this camera have a lot better battery life. They do, but they have a different battery and a different design. So this one, the one that comes with it is the lowest capacity that you could possibly get. Every Amazon dealer sells them for higher capacity, so what the Sony site says, that's the least amount you're ever gonna get, which is like 500 shots, I think. Honestly, I don't charge this very often. Also turned off airplane mode. Once I turned off airplane mode, my battery life like doubled. Airplane mode, that's a first. Turn that on. Turn on airplane mode. I'm telling you, your battery life you'll be like, whoa, I could actually get a full day worth of battery life out the Sony A7 II. And I'll be like, I told you, all you have to do is share airplane mode. Anyway, so that was my review of the A7 Mark II from 2014, and yes, it is 2020. but I love this camera. I'm a Sony fanboy now. I'm sorry Canon. I'm sorry Panasonic. I'm sorry everybody else. Nikon, I never give you a chance. I'm sorry, but Sony, I love you. Bye.